This video is on your daily practice on the EFC course. This is the spine of the course. This is most of EFC actually in terms of hours you'll do and in terms of success factors for students. This is the one. Yes, engagement in modules, participating fully in modules, participating in community, definitely, but the daily practice is really the heart of EFC. So we structure it to maximize the learning without it being sort of 24 hours a day of practice. You're not like a living monk or something. You've got lives to lead. We appreciate that. So the structure we found most efficient is to have a beginning and end of the day and bits dotted throughout. So how does it work? This will all be explained, of course, on EFC, but there's a morning practice. This will be a meditation once that's established on the course, a basic establishing your mindfulness. For me, this is, I did it this morning like I do every morning. It's establishing my day. It's probably the single best thing you can do for your whole embodied practice is to establish that base of mindfulness. And, we can talk about specific types of meditation for different things, but some kind of meditation in the morning. Normally the minimum for courses is minimum 10 minutes. I would recommend more if you can carve out the time. It makes time and space actually, so it's well worth doing. And then some kind of movement practice. Sometimes it's the form, sometimes it's EYP, embodied yoga, some kind of movement practice there in the morning. The third piece for the morning is a reflection upon the day ahead. Some people like to do this after their practice by getting out their diary. It's often the first thing I do in my office, for example, or you can do it mentally. Think about the day ahead and go, where can I apply the different parts of EFC? So you might go, right, I've got a meeting. What's the 4 elements of the people in the meeting? You might go, you know what, I've got a stressful appraisal later. I might want to do centering for that. I might even want to write it in my diary to remind myself, put a note on the phone. What have I got coming up in the day? What's the cycles aspect of this date? Or I'm on a 3rd date, what does that mean for the cycles? So you're thinking about the models and you're thinking about the practices, like centering for elements, whatever, in relationship to your actual life. Now, you may forget to do those things. That's okay, you're at least setting that intention to incorporate it. What you do throughout the day is you have the alarm that goes off 5 times. I just use a phone, okay? You can easily set that on a modern phone to go off 5 times throughout the day. A chime is fine. There's other low-tech ways to do it, but that's one easy way. And when you have that, the first thing is to check in with yourself, to really ask, how am I? It's a micro practice. You're creating a little window. Really stop, even if it's for 3 seconds, like 1. Okay. Just a little micro break like that to really notice how you are. Later on in the course, we add centering to that. Don't rush the centering though. Really do take that moment to check in with how you're feeling. I don't know about you, but even as an embodiment teacher, if I'm doing loads of email, for example, I can just lose contact with my body. And having that little reminder throughout the day means that it's not just the beginning of the day, there's something there. Some days you're going to do a macro practice, like we're recommending. Minimum is once a week, but actually I'd say 2 or 3 times a week is, if you can make that time, is really helpful for your dedicated practice, which you should reflect upon as well afterwards. But always at the end of the day is this little reflection. Usually we use a diary for this, about how's the day gone. It can be 2 minutes or 5 minutes. You go, you know what? I lost contact with my body there, or I had this emotional state there, or I employed centering there. That was really useful. I should have employed centering. I'll do better next time. Yeah. So that little reflection, with the book ending the day, with the beginning and the end of the reflection, can really help. And what we found is if you do these things consistently, and we're recommending, 7 days a week, really consistently doing them, you'll get a lot from EFC. Just going to the courses and having like deep state experiences isn't transformational. It's not rock and roll, but what really works with people is little and often and consistent over time. That's what works, both in those micro practicing, the framing of the day, and of course your macro practice, so like main thing that you're working on from the different choices you'll get at the beginning of the course. So I hope that helps understand the design of EFC and really what is essentially the main part of EFC. It's self-led, we treat you like adults. Yes, we may ask you to do a diary or check in around it, but it's really down to you. So if you want to get the most from EFC, this is what we highly, highly recommend.